Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Hey everyone. Welcome to another Cosplay Crafters Corner. Here we are at the U.S. Toy Costume and Magic Shop. We are proud here with us today. We've had some great guests. We've got Con from Pros and Cons Cosplay. We've got Elise of Team Whatever Cosplay. And we're going to be talking about wigs. We're going to get wiggity whack. I'm over 40. Does that still count? Like, is that a little too much?
I think it's still
got some. All right, on. You guys got some great things going on. What are you working on? What you got?
As I say,
Con, let's hear from you.
All right, cool. To say Con or Elise?
I said Con.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, I'm working on just kind of styling this wig that I got right out of the bag, actually from US Toy. So it's really lush and really beautiful, the Rockstar Wig. So I'm just kind of like combing it out. I'll kind of talk a little bit more about it once we get into the tutorial, but just to like make it look cute and nice.
Nice, excellent. Elise, what you working on?
All right, this one is actually a problematic wig because it was a failed dyed attempt, but I think it's going to be good for demonstrating what to do when you screw up a little bit. you can still fix it.
Right on. Well, hey, folks, we got lots of other great stuff that we're going to be covering today. I know folks will be tuning in to hear about the pet cosplay that we just finished up. We're going to be announcing winners around the 45-minute mark today. But we want you to stay tuned and talk to us and learn from these cosplay crafters. And I'm looking forward to learning all about wigs because it's a terribly important part of costumes to be able to cover up any blemishes that you may have. So wigs are going to be very important for a lot of cosplayers. I have my solar panel for a comedy machine going on right there. Ladies, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Con from Pros and Con. You and your twin are
Indeed.
a cosplay team. We
are, yeah. We're a cosplay duo. We've been in the game for, gosh, like over a decade. Not to like talk about how old I am, but yeah, we do a lot of cosplay competitions. We love building like ornate, cool designs. We work a lot with diversity, equity, and inclusion in the cosplay realm as well as in our real lives. So that's kind of where our passion areas are. But we really love making the community as inclusive and as close as we can, both through crafting and then activism as well.
Right on. Fantastic. Elise from Team Whatever Cosplay. Yeah, we met on Friday. This is the second chance we've had to talk. You work with Pros and Cons sometimes. Tell me about Team Whatever Cosplay.
All right, so Team Whatever Cosplay, the main members are me and my best friend Teresa, who I met in high school, and we fell in love with cosplay and haven't stopped since. And then we also have a tendency to kidnap other friends of ours and dress them up and make them look pretty and do skits with us. So that's our favorite thing to do.
Right. So you definitely get into the play part of cosplay.
Definitely. Saying we've been doing this since about 15 years, actually. It's been a bit. So saying we love working with Pros and Cons. As I say, sometimes we work with them and sometimes we compete with them. We're currently tied on who's won more awards at going up against each other. So,
well, okay, but here's the important question: when it comes down to it, between Pros and Cons Cosplay and Team Whatever Cosplay, who more closely resembles Team Rocket?
Honestly, I think it depends on the day and what we're doing.
There is for sure. As I say, I'm the more level-headed member of my group, so I'm not sure if I would qualify for a Team Rocket normally, but
I'm the chaotic one.
Well, I think it was great that I asked the question about who's closer to Team Rocket, and I get an evil laugh out of that. And so that kind of gave it away for me right there. Okay, so what are there specialties that you guys like to work within, like certain genres or certain materials or certain, what's your strong suits for each pros and cons cosplay and Team Whatever?
That's a good question. I think Tamara and I like craftsmanship, so that's where our strong suit really is. We both like different things, but I think I consider us like jacks of all trades. I get really bored very quickly, so just doing one thing gets really boring for me. But personally, I guess for our team, I love doing wigs and like all the crazy stuff that you see us doing. So usually like the things that don't really make physical sense. Like I like to challenge the laws of physics with a lot of my costumes. Pro loves decorating and painting. She's the one that makes everything pretty and look really nice. So I think together we both kind of try and make our cosplays. Like I think both of our skills can lend well to those kinds of skill sets. But mostly I do all the crazy stuff that shouldn't really be attempted.
Right on. Elise, how about you?
So over at Team Whatever, we're both theater kids at heart. So our biggest thing is we love performance. But we also like doing performance with a high level of craftsmanship because you can't make it easy on yourself. So I do more of the wigs, props, and makeup, while Teresa does more of the sewing and tailoring and pattern drafting and all that sort of stuff. Though we both swap roles pretty often, but that's kind of our cup of tea, is if we get to both be really, really, really pretty and also get to be a performer. So
right on. Well, we're still in that getting to know you phase of the interview here. So I'm going to ask a couple of the generic questions that every cosplayer needs to be asked. You have no limit on the cosplay or the resources. What's your dream cosplay?
Gundam. I want to build a Gundam. I really want to be in one. Tamara and I have had many discussions about it, and she's always like, "No, don't." But that is my dream cosplay, is to build like the Wing Zero and the Death Sight, and just to be able to parade around a convention hall with that on.
Right on. Elise, how about you? Dream cosplay.
If I had all the time and money in the world, like, I'm actually not speaking of a specific cosplay, but more of a genre. I would love to be able to afford like real velvet and silk brocades and silk embroidery and like really luscious, luxurious fabrics to make like a giant ball gown. So probably something along those lines, like a Sakizo would probably be more along the thing, which I haven't done a full one of those yet, but it's on my to-do list. But yeah, so being able to do it with the more luxe materials would be really nice.
Sure. Well, I don't know if you watched our conversation last week with Casey Renee Cosplay, but she kind of focuses on that luxurious ball gown style. And so if you haven't had a chance to check her out, definitely do.
I will.
Man, we're getting some great comments here already. Larry Trainham is saying he wants to be the Doc Ock. That would be his dream cosplay. That'd be cool if you could.
Dr. Octavius? Are we talking about Dr. Olivia Octavius? Because I wouldn't know anything about that. No.
Excellent.
I love
Derek. Oh, well, I think it's just a fantastic interpretation of Doc Ock, especially all the Spider-Man Beyond, Spider-Man 2099, and all those. And bringing them together the way that Sony and Marvel did is just amazingly good. Great story. Derek Leroy is already fans of you guys. He says, "Best people." Hi,
Derek.
Hi, Derek. We love you.
And then Stephen Leach decided that he was going to make fun of me and leave the conversation after I said "wiggity wiggity wiggity whack" was what we're talking about today. And so I think we might have scared someone off. But hey,
way to go, Mark. Go.
We're gonna transition here in just a second to talking about some of the styling of the wigs and how to determine what's a good wig, so on and so forth. But I want to pay the bills real quick and talk about one of the things you can get here at US Toy is cottontail It's all natural cotton candy. Here is a strawberry champagne. I misread it and thought it said strawberry cheesecake and said that's the flavor for me. But the strawberry champagne isn't all that bad at all. I really like it. It's in our after party sweet shop where you've also got flavored popcorns and some soda drinks and ice cream. And so we have the kids come and bounce around and pump it up, and then come over to the sweet shop and get some extra candy, sugar them up before they go home. And that's all a part of the U.S. toy experience. But one of the other things, we held the pet contest. We're going to be announcing those winners about the 45-minute mark. But in all the cosplay contests coming up, we're going to be announcing another one this week. Make sure to come in and use the code PCC Live 20 and get 20% of in-store discounts with that code, so we know you're watching the show. 20% off all the items. And to sweeten the deal, just to let you know, we made an order for TNT foam this week. So here in the next few weeks, hopefully we'll be seeing that cross our doors, and we'll have foam here in town. 4 millimeters, 8 millimeters, 12 millimeters, and then we ordered some dowel rods and some beveled dowel rods. So we should be getting that. But Teresa, come on in, get some of the cottontail cotton candy. I'm not going to make a cotton candy wig, but I do want to learn more about wigs. And Con has one of our Rockstar wigs that she mentioned she was working with. So what do you think of it so far?
I love it. It's really awesome when you can buy locally, because I'm one of those people that likes to see things up close before I can mess with it. So they're really, really lush. They're really thick, which is really important when you're buying a wig. You want to get a wig that has good quality. It can kind of make or break a costume sometimes. So you want to make sure your wig is good. These have a lot of hair in them, so it's good. You can do a lot of styling. And one of the most important things is that they're heat resistant. So that means you can use like a blow dryers, you can use steamers on them without worrying about melting the hair completely off. So these are awesome wigs. I highly recommend. And they fit my giant head, which is another thing I look for.
Well, we do have quite a long history of working with the drag queen community here in Kansas City. And after a lot of recommendations for the eyelashes and the wigs, we carry a wide variety of those Rockstar wigs. We've got about 20 different designs right now. We'd love for folks to come in and take a look at them. Now, Con, that wig that you're wearing right now, you said that was one of them that you made yourself?
I did. I made this one from scratch because I'm a glutton for punishment. But yeah, this was actually like 5, 8, somewhere between 5 and 8 bags of just hair that I purchased, and then made little knots out of all the hair and then glued them in. And then I hand curled the whole thing. It's also a lace front wig, so there's a lace near the front. We'll talk about it a little bit more in the demo part, but so I hand ventilated all the little hairs in there to give me a more natural looking hairline. So it was quite laborious, but I really like a lot of hair and I wanted it to be huge. So
nice. Well, hey, Teresa is asking, do wigs have a temperature range we should pay attention to?
Yes, very good question. I think you want to get wigs that can last between 325 to 350, somewhere around there. That's about the temperature range of the low setting on your flat iron and like steamers and hair dryers. So that's a good one you want to hit.
Mm-hmm. And Meredith saying she made a cotton candy wig. It was needle felted dyed wool roving with embellishments.
Woo.
Oh my gosh, Meredith, that's a heck of a challenge. That's a heck of a challenge.
Felting is a whole nother.
So Elise, you've been working on flat ironing that wig, and you're kind of fixing up when things go wrong. Yes. What do you have going on there?
Okay, so originally I bought this wig and it was a bright red, and I wanted it to be a little bit more of a natural red. So what I did is I dyed it using, say, I dye poly. You basically need a synthetic dye and make sure your pot isn't boiling, which was the issue I ran into, is my temperature was a little bit too high. And it ended up warping the wig. Like it had a slight wave before, but then it went like either straight, curled, all over the place. So I've just been slowly working on like showing that you can recover a wig even if it ended up in real bad condition. Like this one was more of a trial run anyway, so it wasn't a huge loss. And now I can show it off here. And so, yeah, so I've been working with a flat iron that has all of my heat tools have temperature adjustment, which is really important because back in the bad old days, I used to have a flat iron that was just on off. And what I would do is I would turn it on and I would go to the point where on my not heat safe wigs until I was like, oh, starting to melt. Then I turn it off and then I wait till cool and I go a little more and then I have to turn it back on again slowly and laboriously. So yeah, heat adjustment tools are super important. I've also got a small curling iron and a large curling iron for different types of curls.
Okay, right on. Con, what's the next steps there? You've been combing that wig out. What are you gonna do to it?
Next, I'm gonna cut the bangs. So most wigs, when you buy them, the bangs are usually longer than what you want them to be. I mean, I guess it depends on the style, but for me anyway, they're usually a little long. So I'm gonna trim them a little bit. Before you get started in that, we could talk about some of the tools of the trade, but you want to try it on first before you start hacking away at it. That is like rule number one. So I tried it on earlier and decided I think I wanted to take off about 2 inches or so of hair. So next I'm going to get all my cutting tools together and I'll show y'all how to trim some bangs.
Okay, right on.
I say, but yeah, so if we want to, as I say, the different tools are really make or break because it'll make your life a lot easier or a lot harder depending on what you have.
Yes.
Well, Teresa's got a question. What sort of tools, in your opinion, are absolutely must-haves?
Good question. Thank you, Teresa. So I guess we can start with the sharp, stabby things first, right?
Okay. Yeah.
First thing, you need scissors.
You need scissors. What am I looking for in scissors?
So you can buy just like hair trimming scissors at any kind of retail store. You can use these. You can even use craft scissors if you're really desperate, but these you have a little bit more control because they're smaller. The blade's smaller than like your craft scissors. So, and they have a little handle on there that makes cutting a lot easier. So these are really nice. You get some nice leverage with these. Then sometimes if you want to do some more advanced stuff, if you've got a really thick wig that you want to take some of the weight out of, using trimming scissors or thinning shears, these you can also find at retail stores. They have one side is a blade and the other side's like a little comb with some sharp teeth on the end. And it takes out about half the hair than like normal scissors. So you can kind of see the difference here with the types of scissors you got.
So they have a comb. They have a comb attached into the blade.
Yeah, it's like one side's like little teeth, like a comb kind of thing, and so it cuts half the amount of hair as regular scissors do. So it's really good if you want to take some of the bulk out of your wig. And then if you really want to get fancy, you can use a razor. This one, these are for cutting hair. You can take the guard off of it so you don't stab yourself when you're just playing around with it. But these you can also buy at retail stores or like any kind of hair styling place. And this is also really good for taking out bulk. And if you're trying to do like thinning and like feathering, these are really nice. You get a little bit more control with the blade, so these are fun. They do dull pretty quickly because wigs generally are made out of plastic, so it's not the same as real hair. These are not the same as real hair, so they will not, so you'll need to replace your blades a little bit more often. But those are the kind of things that I use for cutting and slicing.
Okay, so with the straight razor blade there, do you have like a leather strop that you use to sharpen it?
I just buy replacements.
Do you get that geeky?
I'm not that cool. I have a sharpening stone thing that I use like for my other scissors, so I use that to like help sharpen my blades sometimes. Or you can just buy the replacement blades too. It's probably a little bit more environmentally friendly to shorten them.
Right on. Elise, you held up a couple of things. Were those brushes at the beginning?
Yeah, say wig brushes, super useful. If you look at them, the teeth have their little hoops, so they don't tear and rip the wig and cause it to get frizzy. So it basically allows you to detangle a wig without tearing it apart. And, those are very, very useful.
So if I'm going to be doing a lot of wig work, I need to definitely get a wig brush.
Yep. As I say, it makes a big difference. I like, as far as smaller combs go, I prefer ones that have the little tine on the end. It allows you to do parts, as I say, and separate part of the hair out in a much neater, nicer manner. And so, and then we have a fine tooth comb. So if you're doing more detail work, you can, as I say, works really well. I have a plastic version too. And this is my junk one, and this is my nice one. My junk one is the one I use to brush through hair that's already been hairsprayed or has some sort of adhesive. So I don't have to worry about gunking up the fine teeth of my nice comb. So as I say, I have two different ones for that exact reason.
Okay. So I'm sorry, the computer I used to monitor on has just went offline, so I'm doing that. Con, what you got?
Also, wig heads, something to put your wig on to style it. It's hard to style it on your own head, but if you have a wig head, that makes it a lot easier. There's a couple of different styles you can buy. I really like my canvas one. I splurged and got this one. I think it was like 20 bucks on Amazon, so pretty cheap. And this one is 22 inches to match my giant noggin. You can buy them in different sizes too. I think up to 24 inches I've seen, maybe even a bit bigger than that. But you want one that will either match your head size or one that you can pad. So that way you can get a wig that's similar to your head. The most common ones you'll see are these styrofoam ones at the store. There's these are more similar to the human head, the ones that got kind of the masculine face. These are a little bit closer to like a real head shape than the other ones. So if you're really just needing one in a pinch, these are the best ones to get because they're a little bit bigger. But you can also put padding on them. Like sometimes I'll wrap scarves around it, or I've like put stuff like batting or something in there to make the head bigger so it matches my head. But if you're doing like serious wig styling where you need to have like a lace front or it's very close to your head, you want to have a wig head that matches your head shape. And since I've got a big one, I gotta have a big head.
Well, you just used the phrase theory of wig styling. Is there a role in academia for this?
Did I say theory?
Is that? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what I'm saying sometimes. I think I said just in general, wig styling, to be successful at it, you want to have all the good tools. That way you're prepped and ready to go. It makes life so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I say,
right
another style of wig head, I've actually found. So these ones that I have here with the like more human looking faces, I actually got from my hairstylist when they have students that are learning to cut and style wigs. And hair in general, they get these heads that have long hair on them and they slowly style them. And I received these when they had about 1 inch of hair and like 4 different colors on them. So I just buzz cut them, and then they make really great wig heads because they've got the hole so you can put them on a stand, and they've got the foam inside so you can use pins on them. And I've actually found this one here is almost my exact same face and head shape. And I've used it for styling head armor before. So because it's a little more heat resistant than some of the other wig heads. So ask your local styling school if they're going to throw these away. You might be able to snag one.
Nice. That's great. Con, you said you were going to show us how to get some of the bangs. Can we get to that here in just a second? I want to talk about real quick. One of the products that we're just started carrying in the store is from Moon Glow. And these are glow in the dark. No, not glow in the dark. They are UV reactive hair streaks. So like you're going to do a rogue cosplay, you'll pull it out. It's like a mascara brush, and you just kind of brush it right into your hair. I'm really impressed with all the stuff that Moon Glow's sent to us. We've got a lot of glitter type stuff. We've got a lot of UV reactive neon type stuff, but you should come check out a number of these products that we've got here in the store from Moon Glow. So let's learn about cutting some wig bangs, because it's quarantine time, and I hear it's an important part of quarantine time to cut bangs, right?
Cutting bangs. It's always good to practice on a wig that you don't have to worry about ruining your own hair. So if you want to practice cutting your own bangs, I would suggest getting a wig. First and foremost, you want to make sure your wig is secured to your wig form. There's a couple of different things you can use to do that. You can use like the sewing pins, but the really good ones, if you're going to be doing a lot of cutting and pulling, these T-pins. They're T-shaped, and you can buy them. I've got like stuck in this one, but it's like a T-shaped pin, and you can stick them right into the wig head, and it secures your wig to the stand so it doesn't go anywhere. So that's really important. There's a couple of different ways of cutting hair, and it just kind of depends on your preference. And I think this is what scares a lot of people is honestly, it just takes practice. But what you want to do is I like to start in the middle for bangs because it gives me something to guide off of. So just get a little bit of hair. We'll start with this piece. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. I hold it between my index and my middle finger, kind of like you're motioning a pair of scissors, like so. And then I take my scissors. I'm going to use the regular hair scissors for this. There's a couple of different ways to cut. Like I said, I have big hands, so this technique works best for me because it feels like it's harder for me to do it the other way. But I hold my scissors horizontally. What you do not want to do, this is the biggest mistake people make, is just hack across and then cut a blunt end. It will not look natural. It's very hard to actually get it straight. It doesn't look good. You really want to make sure you get a nice soft taper. So what I do is I hold my hair horizontal and then I feather the blade as I'm cutting it. So that way it gets a nice soft texture at the end of it. Do not ever directly cut across. You will mess it up. So this is a really good way of thinning out the hair. It makes it look a lot more natural. So like I said, I wanted to cut off about 2 inches. So I go up about 2 inches or so and then slowly feather or quickly move the scissors back and forth while holding the hair taut. And then you get rid of that length and a little bit of the volume so it looks nice and natural. It might take a little bit of time. I only grabbed maybe about a ½ an inch of hair and spread it pretty thin between my fingers. So that way you can easily snip it across. It's okay if you got to kind of go back and grab it again. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And then
kind of see.
Yeah, so again, I'm holding the hair like this, and I'm using my scissors and moving them back and forth with the blades open, kind of scraping the hair up against the blades to remove some of that weight from the hair. And then I use my thin tooth comb to comb it out, and you can see that I have hacked off a little piece of the hair, hacked off about 1 inch of the hair here in the front. And then I use that middle piece to guide around the rest of the wig. So that way, you've got like a point and you can keep your edge nice and straight. So pretty easy. Go ahead and practice it. A good place to practice is in the back. If you're uncomfortable with, start from the way, no one will see what's going on in the back if the hair is down. So you can either, push the hair up and just practice cutting, or get a junk wig or like a trash wig or a really cheap wig and practice on that before you go for the real thing. And then have a trash can. This is messy. Messy stuff.
Have a trash can available.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a good, sensible piece of advice for any crafter. At least what you got going on and what you're working with.
All right, I was going to show another wig cutting technique. So instead of doing the feathering with the blade, another one you can do is cutting straight up. So it'll take a little bit longer. But this is what I do if I'm already close to what I want, but it's not quite the right length that I want, then I will start doing. So I hold it like they were talking earlier and just trim like this. And it's a slowly but surely, it's going to get to the length that you want and have a really natural look to it. And you can, the way it works, it actually can be really precise. I had it with this wig I was working on. Had a really long swoopy bang and I wanted a nice straight one. And it was, once I had gotten it to about here, that was the point when I started doing the feathering, or say the trimming up to get it so it was really nice, level and straight. So as I say, but it still it still looks like hair. It doesn't just look like a kindergartner had hacked across. So, which is always, that's always a disappointment when that happens.
So the big takeaway that I'm learning from both of you is that you don't want to hold your scissors horizontal to your face and go straight across. No. You're either wanting to come down, or go up vertical.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a heck of a good lesson. I'm pretty thick-headed, so if I can get that, there's a lot of people who are going to learn a lot of stuff today. So where do you go from there after you've taken a look at working with the bangs? What do you move on to?
It kind of depends on your own preference and what style you're going for. Actually, I usually cut the bangs last because just preference, I guess. I like to work in the back.
Yeah, bangs are what I usually attack last because I'm doing all other ones, all my other stuff beforehand. So like a lot of time, just because when you're going in and doing some of the more heavy duty, like shifting, cutting, styling, by the time you get to the front, you're like, okay, cool. Now I see exactly what the levels are at and how I can want it in comparison. So makes it your life a lot easier.
And I think you're more confident by the time you're close to the end. You're like, all right, I got this. I got, practice in the back already. I've warmed up the engines, and now I can tackle the part that's going to be seen the most.
Okay.
Yeah. And another technique, if we want to talk about curling hair, as I say, I can start showing some of those techniques.
Yeah.
Usually, so there's two, usually I have two different curling irons. So if I want like big, loose, wavy hair and curls, this is my go-to as one, and they're both temperature adjustment. But if I want like more tight ringlets, then I go for the smaller one. And there are other tips that are even thinner than this. There are wands you can wrap for ringlets too, but this covers like most of my basics. And I also discovered while working with thermoplastic, you can get little heat protectors for your fingers, which is really nice.
Yeah.
You're doing 200 little pin curls in a row, and I'll just demonstrate how that works and save your fingerprints. So it makes life a lot easier. So usually,
I'm sorry to interrupt, Elise. I was going to say we do have a comment from Pros and Cons Cosplay, but I know Cons is with us, so I'm guessing. But Pros is asking, if I have a giant head, how do I make my wig fit? Or what if I have a small head?
Give up. I'm just kidding. If you have a big head, buy a wig that is made for big heads. So like I mentioned, the Rockstar wigs earlier, those come in large sizes. So get that. Art is another brand that we use pretty regularly, as well as Epic Cosplay, and those all come in large sizes as well. There's little straps in the back of your wig to where you can adjust. I don't know if you can see it that well on camera, but there are little straps back here that you can tighten or loosen depending on your preference for size. So those are really helpful to making sure it's the right size. If you want to, well, it's also important how you do your hair underneath as well. I also have very, very thick hair. So I flat iron it sometimes, so you can flat twist it and then push it back. You want it to be as flat against your head as possible. And I think Elise has good like wig caps that she can show up to. Those are really important to keep hair mashed down.
I was gonna say, yeah. So there are two main kinds of wig, wig covers that you're gonna find, and wig caps. And this is my favorite one. It's the mesh kind. It has a little vent on the top, and the reason I prefer it is that it allows you to pin it to your head because it allows pins to pass through it. As I say, versus this is a nylon wig cap, which I used to use more in the past, especially different colored ones, because they come in a variety of colors. So if I had like a bright pink wig and my hair was like dark purple, I would cover it with the bright pink wig cap, and it would help hide some of my hair underneath in case there were any thin spots in the wig. But the issue with this one is that unless you actually poke a hole in it, it won't allow you to put pins in it, which can make it difficult to make sure your wig stays on your head. Because one of the biggest things for getting wigs to stay, especially long term, if you're moving, I'm part of an idol dance group, and having our wigs stay on our head is really important. So usually what I do is I'll use this style, or I'll like braid and pin up my hair. So it gives your pin something better to grab. And then you, so usually I prefer bobby pins. I have the basic ones of the black and blonde, but I also, they come in rainbow colors. So I get those too if I have like my bright rainbow colored wigs, which, like this. So most people actually use bobby pins wrong. You want to make sure you have the grippy teeth part on the bottom, because that's what grabs it. And then the smooth part goes on top. Say, versus everyone thinks that, oh, it's a smooth, it slides through your hair. But then the problem is then it slides right back out again, and it creates a little crimp pattern in your hair. So the number one thing I do, especially if I'm going to have a ponytail wig or any sort of weight that is going to be pulling on my wig, is I pin from the back. So I just take the bobby pin and I go up underneath in there, and it helps it so that it prevents it from sliding backwards. And then I work my way up towards the front of my head. So that's usually the biggest thing. And I'll like a small wig like this, I'll maybe have like 4 or 5 bobby pins in it, and that's all I need for it to stay. But I have a really long wig, or if I have a really heavy in the back wig that wants to tip, like this one, the wig head doesn't even stay up. I have to make sure I prop it up. Then I'm going to be putting in like 12 to 20 at least to get it to stay. But then when I do, it really helps it stay. And I find I like it better than I like, a lot of wigs come with, they're called toupee clips. And I don't think I have.
This one does. Hold on.
Yeah, they say toupee clips. They're basically little back combs. So when you put it on, it helps it like stay in your hair on its own. So some wigs come with that, some don't. But I find that the bobby pins work the best. So that's usually how I get it to stay. And then if you're actually talking about, and then when you're trying to get it to stay and you have a lace front, there's actually a lace front I turned into a widow's peak for, it was the old bishop character from Castlevania. So that's what this wig was for. And so what you want to do, there's a couple different techniques to get the lace front to stay. Sometimes you can pin it and like hide the pins, but most of the time you're going to have to glue it somehow. And there's a couple different ways to glue. There's grooming tape or toupee tape. Those are super useful. They're these little clear strips. You peel it off, you put it to your face, and then you slip your wig over and press it down. And those work pretty well. But if I'm going for all day wear, I'm going to be at a convention for 15 hours wearing a wig. What I'm going to choose is Prozaid. It's the same stuff you use for prosthetics. If you're attaching like ears, you're attaching a mustache, your beard. As I said, that's what I use for my lace front wigs to get it to stay. And it dries clear, but it is pretty heavy duty. Like once it's on, it is on. You have to buy a special remover to go with it to dissolve it so you don't just rip everything. But it works wonders.
Absolutely. And not a lot of those tools that you mentioned, they're all here at US Toy Magic and Costume Shop. So come check in. We just rearranged all of our facial hair applications. We've got Prozaid from Pro Air and Ben Nye. We've got the little dot strips that you can get to put underneath your wig, so on and so forth. We did have a couple of great questions. Teresa has, did you guys go over the difference between lace front and regular wigs?
Ew. No, I say that. So the difference is, so this one is a regular wig, and the difference between, I'm going to drop this curl real quick so I can pull out demonstrations. As I say, and that's what I say. Okay, so lace front, here I've got a couple different options, has this thin bit of, and usually when they come out of the package, they'll be like, the lace will come down to here, because then you have to cut it to the shape that you want. Like Liv, I cut a little, like kind of a triangle to her peak, because that was just how her hair shape worked. So it was like the boom, boom. Got the M in the front, as I say, and the lace goes, so it goes all the way down. And so you trim it to the shape that you need, as I say, or like I had with this one, I cut it up high, and then I shaved this one, but it's also the lace front. So it helps it blend in with your hairline, so it looks a lot more natural, versus ones that are not lace front, like this one. When you lift it up, you can clearly see the wig. Oh, I can tilt it, the wig line there. So you can see like the black there that is not. So usually the lace front ones, you don't always need a lace front. As I say, there's a lot of anime always has like artful bangs in the front like that. But the lace front is for when you're especially like doing pullback hairstyles, like pullback ponytails, updos, anything without bangs where it's pulled away from the face. That's when lace front saves your bacon. Versus, as they otherwise, I've even done it before where I couldn't find my lace front wig, and I did have a similar one but without it. And what I ended up doing was taking the hair and just tucking it up under the wig kind of like that to fake it. But lace fronts, like, it's definitely one where they're more expensive, but oh, they can make all the difference. So.
Sure, absolutely. And you know, Cons there is working on a Rockstar wig, and it is a lace front wig. We
This
do
one's
have
not a lace front. It's actually not. But this one has bangs, but it does have the wig clips in the front that Elise was talking about earlier. So usually, if it has bangs, there's no lace in the front of it. But yeah, Rockstar does have lace front wigs. So that's what we do.
Nice.
If you really hate your life, you can make your own lace front wig. You can buy lace offline. So this is lace. It's called Swiss lace, and it's pretty strong, which is what you're going to want to need. And you can attach this. That's how I made this one. Is I just attached a piece of Swiss lace to the front of the wig here, and you always put a little bit more than you think you're going to need. And then you'll use what's called a ventilating hook or a needle. Mine's like shaped like a latch hook if you've ever done like those craft rugs. There's a little baby hook here on the end of it. And you can use it to pull the hair fibers through the netting. It takes a very long time, but it gives you a really, really natural looking hairline. So if you really, really, really want to go on hard mode, you can do your own lace front wig.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
So how's the curling going there?
The curling's going well. So this is it's called pin curls. It's actually a lot of pinups. This get their hairstyle from doing pin curls. So the idea behind it is when the way hair curling works is that you use heat to activate the change of shape for it. And so so these ones I've been pinned. This one I'm going to drop it. And it's already losing its shape because it's not, so it won't be as nice and smooth of a ringlet as if I have it up here and then let it cool first. So that's super important with your wigs is even if you don't want to do an actual pin curl, like if you're only doing a little bit, but a lot of times I'll curl it and then I'll hold it up in my hand like this and wait till it's cool and then let it drop. And then you can get more of a natural curl. Like, okay, I'm going to pull this one out now that it's a little bit cooler now. As you can see, it's a lot more developed of a curl compared to the piece that I just let drop. You can see like they're the same length of hair, but there's a big difference in the shapes just because of this one was let to cool before it was dropped. So that's if you really want tight curls, as I say, then yeah, the smaller curling iron, and then cool pin up and let it curl and then drop it. Because like this wig over here was just a slightly wavy wig. Like it barely had any curl in the bottom of it. And this is one I took the whole wig and I pin curled the whole thing. And I've got these really nice tight ringlets that, as I say, look really, really nice. And I'd say I'm just in love. I just wanted to have a really nice ringlety, tightly curled wig compared to a more wavy one. So,
well, hey, we just got a question from Tamara. I noticed she's no longer posting under pros and cons, so she must be using pros and cons to be a troll. Come on now, girl.
That's rude.
But she's asking, how do you determine which wig you should buy for a character? Sometimes wigs aren't exact to the character, so how do I pick a wig that will be best to style?
That's a good question. One, decide what it is that you're going to be doing to the wig. If you are just going to be wearing it, like shaking it right out of the bag, you can buy, you don't have to have wigs that have as much like heat resistance if you're not really going to do that much styling to it. But I think it's always good if you're going to be doing like crazy spikes or curls, make sure you get a really good lush quality wig that's got heat resistance to it. Then there's the color matching, of course, which is always fun. I think in our group chats, we always like, well, is this color match? Do you think this is right? What's really helpful is if you can buy your wig in person you can always go in and see if the color is what you want it to be. But if you're buying online, we shop at Arta Wigs pretty often. You can buy these color wheels. They used to be border, but then I dropped them, so now they're not. But you can buy a color ring, which has all the different colors on them. So it's nice, and you can look at the hair fibers, what they're going to look like in different lighting or against your skin tone or how it'll match against your costume. So that's what I really rely on this to help me pick wig colors. And then sometimes I go online and see what shape I'm going to want to create. So if I know I'm doing a lot of spikes, I want wigs that are very thick because that's what you really need to get the spikes to stand up straight. I like to buy, I guess I buy wigs that are suited to my strength. I don't really mind cutting. So sometimes I'll get a wig that's a lot longer if I know it'll have more volume because I know I can cut it off. Some people really, really hate bangs. So they'll buy wigs that have the bangs that they already want the way that they want. So a little bit of it's personal preference and kind of trial and error, but it's helpful if you can find wigs that are similar, at least in general shape, to what it is that you're wanting to create. So it makes the actual styling part a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So, hey, we're here at the 46-minute mark, and so there's a couple things that I really need to make sure that we do today, and that is talk about the Pet Cosplay Contest. So there's a couple of different prizes. The third place prize will get a Jack Skellington cookie jar, a $35 value, and an 8x10 super pet painting. We have an artist from Dragon Feathers who is going to, you send them a portrait of your pet. She's going to paint it and send it back to you. So that's third place. Second place is going to win a Black Panther necklace, a $54 value, and an 8x10 super pet painting. And then first place, the grand prize, gets the Indiana Jones idol statue. That's a $100 value. A 9x12 super pet painting. That's a $65 value. And then we're going to give a $20 U.S. toy gift certificate that you can come in and spend at our store. So, Dustin, let's take a look at the third place winner. Dog meat. Dog meat. I'm sorry if I came across very loud there. From Mad Love Cosplay submitted dog meat, and I know that was one of my personal favorites. So congratulations. Courtney will be getting in touch with you to get those prizes out to you. Second place comes up as, drum roll, Meow Donald from Izzy Kinzilla. I think I said that right. She was submitted via Twitter. Anyone who can get a cat to sit down, much less get a Ronald McDonald wig and outfit, and then take a picture of it, deserves a lot of money because that's definitely a hidden talent. And then first place winner is Ray, is submitted by Aaron Blem. So just take a look at that pupper coming on as Ray Palpatine, Ralph Palpatine, Ray Skywalker. All right, fine. So those are, they are just absolutely fantastic. We're going to be introducing a new cosplay contest later this week from Planet Comic Con. So please stay tuned. You'll get a chance to win some prizes. Real quick, I do want to introduce you to one other product. If you haven't seen it before, I've been talking about them the past couple of weeks. They are our Stick Effects masks. These are silicone masks. This is the same mask I've been wearing for 3 weeks now during this show, and it goes on just like that. And all of a sudden, you're on there. I can't see you because I'm blind as a bat. But this just sticks on your face. You just make sure your face is clean. You make sure that the mask is clean. We've got about 3 or 4 different designs, and several of them come in different colors. Like I wanted to show off this guy's red sparkle mask. Take a look at that. And then we've got that same mask design, but instead of sparkles, we've got a matte red. We've got a matte blue and a blue sparkle all in that design. But these are just absolutely fantastic. I've had nothing but love wearing those masks and showing them off to different people. We had 75 contestants with the Pet Cosplay Contest. We're so incredibly happy that it turned out. We want you to continue cosplaying with us and definitely come into the store and get a 20% off in-store discount at US Toy with PCC Live 20. That'll be good through October 31st, 2020. All right, ladies, what do we need to know about Pros and Cons Cosplay and Team Whatever Cosplay to get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, we are on all the social medias. Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook is Pros and Cons Cosplay, and Instagram is also conveniently Pros and Cons Cosplay. We post work in progress pictures. We post kind of what we're up to sometimes. I'm getting better at posting my build notes. Usually I don't post those until I'm done with the thing, but kind of is what we're up to in terms of cosplay stuff. So that's a really easy way to reach us. If you want to email us, if you have questions or anything like that, Facebook and Instagram is fine, but we also have an email address, which is prosandconscosplay@gmail.com.
Very groovy. Team Whatever.
Pretty similar setup for us. It's Team Whatever Cosplay on Facebook and Team Whatever Cosplay on Instagram is where we're most active. We do actually have a Twitter too, but we've been kind of just leaving that one alone. So maybe we'll be a little bit more busy in the future. But the best place you can reach us is both on Facebook Messenger and on Instagram Messenger. So that's where we'll be.
Sounds good. Well, thank you both for providing your wisdom and insight for us today. I feel like there's so much that we could tackle with the wiggity 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 whack. Look at those bangs. Man,
Snipped.
those are nice. Yeah, you just went straight across with that, didn't you?
That's what I did. I hack right. No, feather.
So, Pros and Cons are the admin for the Cosplay Contest support group for Planet Comic Con. And so when you
it's a general one, not Planet.
Oh, just in general?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a general cosplay contest group. But yeah, I admin that and the POC cosplayers Facebook page. I'm one of the admins there. I admin too many things, honestly. Yeah, that's a great place if you have questions about cosplay contests. POC cosplayers is a community of cosplayers. There's like 11,000 plus of us, I think, where we discuss issues within the cosplay community, specifically affecting POC, people of color. So if you have questions about that, or if it's an area that you're interested in, definitely join. Cosplay Contest Support Group, again, is a place for cosplay contests. So if you're interested in one, have questions about how they work, or just want some advice, that's a really great place to get some insight from experienced judges, con runners, people that are just really seasoned. So me and Elise and Teresa, Team Whatever, Pros and Cons, we're all in there, probably too much. But we really love offering advice and helping out the community when we can.
I love
so those are really great.
Well, you know, and I've been very grateful for you guys to come out to Camp Cosplay and being a part of a bunch of different community building events. I know Jim is also very happy that you guys have been able to help as much as you can. Thank you guys for continuing to build community and show this is a people first kind of thing. I'm just so excited to be able to work besides all of you. I'm always getting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. And so next time she can hit me to try and get it straight. Is it Tamara, right?
It's Tamara.
Not
Tamara.
Tamara. It is
Tamara.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm also a dude who says fox paws instead of faux pas. So I apologize. So I know it's a thing. But she's saying make sure everyone likes Planet Cosplay's contest, and everyone should definitely enter. We're having a lot of joy seeing all those cosplay contests at home. We want to keep up the virtual contest as a way of interacting with everyone. Tamara rhymed with camera. That's going to help me a lot. And so I hope. I'm not always the quickest in thinking.
Okay,
so Tamara like camera. I know, but everyone gets tired of that. With a last name like Argenbright, I know how difficult it is when everyone says, "How do I say that?" And it sounds just like it looks. I don't know what that means yet because we don't do the emphasis on the right syllables in our writing. Anyway, big deals. Man, thank you guys so much for joining us and being a part of everything today. Camera rhymes like a camera. We get to see you in 2 weeks. Coming up this week on PCKC TV for Tuesday night, we're going to be talking comics with Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor. You may know them from their work on Harley Quinn, but they're also going to be talking about some of the other things that we've got coming up. Next week, we're going to be working with Prop Customs, Kaylin Kaufman over there. I haven't had a conversation with Kaylin for a couple of years, so I'm looking forward to getting back in touch with them. And that big old group there, I was very fortunate to be sitting on the committee to help judge that as a show winner. So, you know, I'm looking forward to having a conversation with him. John Boone is saying he had the best time of the contest just waiting in line behind the stage, talking to so many other great and talented people, a great community. I think that's one of the things we really try to emphasize on in our community is that we all want to build each other up. You know, even though it's a competition, ain't no one, you know, we all want to support each other. We all want to see each other grow and get new techniques and go bigger and better. So that's why we're doing these cosplay crafter shows. So,
can I just add that's where I've met a lot of my good cosplay friends is just in the green room at judging and like admiring people's works. You learn so much cool stuff. So even if you don't win anything, it's just an awesome time to meet people, network, learn cool techniques that you've never thought you'd learn before. Like I think most of our friend group like met in the competition ring just because we were all hanging back and being like, oh my God, how do they do that? That's amazing. So it's a great way to meet people.
Yeah, well, it's a great way to build community, great way to meet people, great way to see and learn for your next cosplay. And then we get together for events like this and, you know, master classes we do over here at US Toy and Camp Cosplay and all the different work groups and videos. And so this is just a community of building. You know, so oftentimes the cosplay community is seen as a group of competitors. While that's true, I think it's more important to see the side that people are building each other up more than we're competing with each other. So thank you both so much for giving your time and wisdom. We want to say thank you from US Toy here at the store. Make sure to come visit us. We've got lots of great safety protocols in place. Your safety is our main concern, but we want to make sure you get some of these stick effects masks, the hair streaks from Moon Glow, and of course, getting some cotton candy from Cottontail Cotton Candy. Man, I just devoured that entire thing of cotton candy. I'm going to be riding high the rest of the afternoon. We want to make sure to thank our other sponsors for for Planet Comic Con. They're NFM, Boulevard Brewing Company, U.S. Army, Kansas City WE, Geico, UMB Bank, Xfinity, 5 Hour Energy, T-Mobile, Kansas City Live, the Kansas City Mavericks, and the great state of Oklahoma. Make sure to tune in to PCKC TV on Tuesday to talk to Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor. And then next week, Cosplay Crafter will be talking with Prop Customs. We look forward to seeing you all. Thank you all for joining us, and thanks for all the great comments. We love you all, and stay safe, and we'll see you.
Mission sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.